So welcome back to another episode, and what I am secretly playing. I do a lot of reviews in this channel, and I talk about a lot of games that I am playing, but it was really interesting. The other day I was playing a bunch of games, and I thought, oh my god, there's so many games that I don't talk about, that I'm just playing just for, for my own leisure time, not to finish a game, to review it in that regard, just what I do casually. And I play a lot of games, a lot more games than I ever talk about, so I thought I'd do an episode about what I am actually playing right now, and it's rather interesting. Okay, we gotta start off. The other night, I had one of the best video game nights I've had in a very, very long time. Not playing a new game at all, playing a game that's over 30 years old. The Legend of Zelda, one of my favorite video games of all time. Obviously, Breath of the Wild has kind of surpassed that, but nothing takes away from the original at all. Was I playing this version? No, I was playing this version, the NES Classic right here. This thing right here. I want to always thank my friend Carlos for sending me this. I really appreciate him sending that up to me. And I sat down and I probably had the best Legend of Zelda game playing experience I've had in years. I've often started playing again. I get through a couple of dungeons, I put it down, where it was a beautiful sunny evening, honestly, and I'm sitting there and I was having a beer and I started playing the game and I got so zen into it. I was so into it. It was wild. Nothing else was going on, just the game. I was transported back to 1987 when I first played it, and I finished the first four dungeons without even thinking about it. It was easy. It was simple. It was inherently in me. And I honestly don't think I have the game memorized like a lot of people do. Like speedrunners and such. I'm not that guy. I'm a casual player in that regard, and I haven't played that far into the game for a long time, and it was absolutely magical. I was swearing at times. I was angry. I was elated. I felt all the feelings you should feel when you're playing a really, really good, challenging game at times. And it felt so fun to revisit this classic game and how well it stands up over so much time. And that was one of the best video game nights. It was just after dinner into the evening, and it was just wonderful. And it kind of got dark out, but it was still really warm out. And I was like, and I put the controller down, and I didn't want to. And I was like, that was perfect. That was really, really perfect. And yeah, have you had an experience like that where you pick up a game you haven't played for years and you just get suckered back into that world again? And that is the strength of The Legend of Zelda, that first game. It's wonderful. It's for anybody out there who has never played the original, give it a shot. It still stands up after 30 years. I've talked about it quite a bit. Okay, the next game I'm going to talk about is a game I got 4 years ago, and I never have played until this summer. And that's what's so interesting. And I remember picking it up, and I'm like, I'm going to play this. I can't wait to play this. And I never was able to get past maybe the first hour, because other games are coming out, and just sometimes the hecticness of life. Some games get put back into the backlog, and you never get around to them. Sometimes ever again. Well, for this one, it was 4 years later. And that is Pokemon X. Really, this game right here, I must admit, I have only played one game before that, and that was Sapphire, and the art on this one got me back then. I was like, you know what, I want to get this. I went into EB Games, and I'm like, hey, I said, do you have the game? And they're like, oh no, I remember this is the date came out. They're like, oh no, it's sold out. You can't get it anywhere. It's sold out in Vancouver. You'll never get it anywhere. I walked across the road, I bought it in Toys R Us. Never listen to those people, like, good God. Because I didn't have it pre-ordered or anything like that, and so I just kind of wanted to get it, like, just for the fun of it, and I always have aspired to start playing the game, where now that on the Nintendo Switch, everybody's talking about Pokemon again, and the new game that's coming out, the two new games really, that are coming out this Christmas, it's kind of got me into the Pokemon mood again. I'm like, I really want to start playing a game. So me and my wife always love going to the park in summertime. We only get like a couple months of a beautiful sun here, so we take advantage of it every night, really, realistically. We make dinner and take it to the park, and we sit there and we read and we play games. It's a very Zen-like type of thing. So I started to play this game, and I got something to admit. so addicted. I got so addicted to it. The level grinder in me goes nuts. And I cannot stop grinding and fighting and fighting and fighting and collecting. And it is nuts. And it's like, I kept bringing it back to the park and I kept bringing it back to the park. And I'm like, I can't get enough of this game. And I was saying to Kim, it's funny, you know, on the channel, I think to you guys a lot of times, I really like talk about games and embellish them and get excited about them. And maybe some of them got you excited and you picked it up. I was doing that to my wife. I'm like, this game is so incredible. I said, it's so good. I said, Kim, you would love it. And she's like, well, I've never played a Pokemon game. I don't know if I would like it. And I start to show her. She's looking over my shoulders and playing it. And she's like, oh my God. And the level grinder in her, you know, because we're both the same way. We like grinding in video games. It's funny. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I think I really will like this game. So anyway, so for her birthday, I got her a lot of different things. It was her 30th birthday. I bought her tons of different stuff. This was a small little appetizer gift. It was nothing. And I was so angry about one thing. I went on Amazon. Since I was playing X, I said to Kim, you know what? I'll get you the Y. And she said, oh, that'd be great. And so I went on Amazon, just like, you know, the picture of the box, and I'm like, oh yeah, I ordered it. And then I said to her, oh yeah, you know, after her birthday, I gave her all of the other stuff. I said, oh, I got this other little thing for you. It's going to show up. And this little package showed up in the mail. I said, well, what the hell is this? Fucking assholes. Fucking ass. Just the cartridge. $28. Some scam fucking... Right at the very bottom of the description goes, this is just the cartridge only. I had to go back and read it. I was so mad. I fucking hate that. I hate these bullshit sellers. If it's the cart, take a picture of only the cart. Don't take a picture of the box, or like put a box art up, and then find like lettering at the bottom, say, oh, cartridge only. I was so mad about that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So Kim's got the game. She's not bothered if we got the box. I just kind of thought if we were both playing it together, that I'm playing X, she's playing Y, I'd like to have the games. It's going to be a thing for us. And so I was kind of annoyed that I could only get the cart, but you know what? Some of these things happen. Totally, but really having a lot of fun. And you know, I got you know, cousins that are really into these games, and they collect all of the, you know, all of the Pokemon, and they have all the indexes and all this stuff. And I'm a bit of a noob into the whole thing. I'm the first to admit it. I enjoy the games for sure, but I'm not fanatical. I don't know anything. I realistically don't know everything about these games, but my cousins do. And I really was able to see the addiction that they have. And I thought, man, if I was back in high school back in the day, I would have gone crazy about these games. Because I think for me, Pokemon came out when I was in film school. And I was really fascinated about it, you know, pocket monsters. And I was like, oh, I love this. And I had this big Japanese poster of all of the creatures from the first game. And I was like, I love these monsters. You can fight each other. And I like the idea of it. I thought it was really a lot of fun. But it's only till years later that I played Sapphire and I just played this. It's kind of interesting sometimes how we come to a game series way later on. It's like the Yakuza series for me. I've just kind of got into it at this time where there's been all of the older games and I've only played a couple of them type of thing. But sometimes you don't have to play all of the games to enjoy them. And that's also a thing as well. So that's some of these games. Now, next up, on the Nintendo Switch, I play a lot of games on the Nintendo Switch, and I never talk about them as well. One of the games that I'm, you know, when we're in the park or I'm out and about, it always comes up because it's so easy for me to turn it on, play it, and absolutely love it. And that is Mark of the Wolves on Neo Geo. One of the last great Neo Geo games ever released, and I'd say the pinnacle of fighting games on there. And it's just beautiful graphics. It takes place years later in that timeline with all those characters. You know, with Rock and, you know, Terry Bogard's, you know, raising Rock as his kind of his son after, you know, Geese. It's just, I don't know. I just love that time period in Neo Geo's history. I still think the game holds up really well. I love the whole roster of characters. I love the beautiful hand-drawn you know, backgrounds, and love the animation, and it's just such a wonderful game. And you want to hear something super funny? I had the game on Dreamcast way back 2001, was it? 2002, somewhere when it first came out. And I remember I had my mother staying with me for a week. She was over from the other side of Toronto, Ontario, from the other side of Canada. She was just staying with me for a week. And I'm playing Mark of the Wolves on the Dreamcast. And she comes in and for anybody who's seen her on the channel, she was only on the channel once. She's a little British lady. And she comes in and she goes, "Oh, John, oh, the swearing in that video game is terrible." And I'm like, "What swearing? What are you talking about? There's no swearing in this. It's a fighting game." And then all of a sudden, I'm using Terry Bogard, and you're doing the power wave, and I figured it out, what she was hearing. She was in the kitchen making tea or making some lunch or something like that, and all she kept hearing was, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you," and it just sounds like that in the game itself. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Oh my god, I always thought that's so funny, and every time I play the game and I do that move and I hear that sound effect, I always think about my mom on the middle of the day when I was playing that game, and how she totally heard something else, and now I can never hear anything else but that. Too funny. And so anyways, for what other games am I playing? I'm playing this really great tank game on the Nintendo Switch. It's a game I was playing last year. I talked about it in a game chat I did in that park area that me and Kim are at, and it was on the Bandai Namco Museum, and it's called Tank Force. And I believe it's an old arcade game. I've just been playing it, and it's just so simplistic, and it kind of reminds me of the old Atari 2600 days of playing combat with my dad. It's just you're in a tank, you're defending your base, there's a ton load of tanks coming at you, and you're just defending your base against all these tanks, and get power-ups and things like that. And this is not rocket science. This game is so simple that it's so easy to pick up and play, and I spend a lot more time playing that than, in this time period, more than anything. I've really enjoyed this game, and every time I'm playing it, I'm like, I gotta get to the end. And I'm nearly there now, and I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. It's such a simple tank game, and as I say, it's called Tank Force for anybody out there. It's on the Bandai Namco Museum, a collection of games that I'm coming back to again. I'm not sponsored by Bandai Namco, but I really like that collection because it's got Splatterhouse on there. It's got this tank game, which I really love, and it's got Rolling Thunder on there, which I just adore. I really love that, and I end up playing that quite a bit. It's one I don't get rid of. I don't delete it off my Switch to make room for other games. I always have that on there. So guys, those are some of the games that I want to come in and talk about that I'm always playing, that I've been playing recently that I don't talk about. And I should do more of these episodes, and I think I will in the future, because I'm always playing a few games just for, like shits and giggles once in a while, nothing to change the world, or sometimes to completely finish them, just for my own entertainment in the background, for sure. So anyways, guys, until next time.